Greetings. I want to welcome you all. This is Christine Van Pelt on Gibson County, Indiana. It is Monday, the 20th of November, 2023. And this is the Indiana Assembly. And we'll give everyone a minute or two to get things going. So hold on. All right, let's go ahead and get things rolling. I have to screen share in here as well for it to show on here. Okay, so again, this is Monday, the 20th of November, 2023. I'm Christine Van Pelt, Gibson County, Indiana, State Coordinator and Lead Recording Secretary. And on our call this evening at some point will be Joe Hayes. He's the PKTF Executive Director, as well as he's our Area 4 Postal Chief. Area 4 is Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky. And then we'll also have, continuing on the call with us, is Justin, from the State Marshal at Arms for the Kentucky Assembly. He may be able to join us. He has a lot that he has going on as well, as we're supporting each other and as we're bordering states within the same postal area, giving each other support. So we'll go ahead and get things going, and we want to take a moment of silence to honor our Creator. All right, so I gotta make sure I screen share that over here. Let's pull this way, and we can get this up. Okay. All right, so we'll get started with the Bivens decision. This meeting is private. Bearing false witness, misrepresentation, posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. Yeah, I want to make sure we can hear the volume. Okay, in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting or call that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Is there a response to the Bivens decision for the first time? And if you are watching us on YouTube, you can post in the chat your name and what county you're on, if you're and make sure you put if you're Indiana or Kentucky joining us this evening. All right, so hearing and seeing none. Is there any response to the Bivens decision for the second time? Hearing and seeing none. Any response to the Bivens decision for the third and final time? Hearing none. Furthermore, anyone who is here under false pretenses, anyone who is working for any foreign government, including the territorial United States or municipal United States, anyone who is being paid or coerced to be here, must fully disclose their presence and purpose now and leave the call. Remember, you're the employee, and it's our duty to remind you. All right. So this evening, we're going to discuss some updates in the schedule. Mattermost, Anna's articles for the week, and then we'll be getting into discussion again with Joe of continuing with the different offices. And so we make sure that we have that reminder is that that we will at the end adjourn to November 27th at 6 p.m. And so that way we've already got that out there for us. All right, so I want to make sure and remind everyone again that it is, I know it's Thanksgiving, but I wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone, as well as here are the links for important tools for you The study course, Sign in America study course, that's great on giving you support on jurisdictions. And then the training portal from the Federation has universal self-governance and America Some Assembly required. So great tools. Pardon. All right. So we have our mission. We cannot fail. We're willing and able to do this work physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We have resolve and determination. We walk the talk and work every day to bring the dejur into reality. We have excellent tools to complete our work. We set realistic and achievable goals. We learn and research constantly. We have a timeline of this year. We track our progress. We measure our strengths and weaknesses. We continually improve and revise accordingly and conduct ourselves with peace and love. I want to make sure, yeah, we are in the assembly call make sure I didn't click on the right or wrong link to get into. All right. A reminder again, agent provocateurs and infiltrators. Agent provocateur, one employed to associate with suspected persons and by pretending sympathy with their aims to incite them to some incriminating action. Okay, the examples in a sentence: the government used agent provocateurs to try to undermine the opposite party. Recent examples on the web at the same time: agent provocateurs played a significant role in the turbulence. Adam Harshfield, the New Yorker, 4 November 20 something. I didn't catch it. All right. So, but there's the link to be able to find more info. Infiltrator, as an informer or a stool pigeon. Then there's also the lurker, one who lies hiding and hidden in or as if to ambush. All right. What are the classic signs of infiltrators or the deeply indoctrinated? Because that's the way they do things in that world as well, is the attack the leaders right away, such as the coordinators, Anna and James, attack the foundational elements, something about the paperwork, to modify the template in some way, or they don't feel that they don't have to do all of the paperwork process. Attack any progress made so far, divide and conquer, gossip, accuse others of what they're doing themselves, attempt to set up a gravy train out of assembly members, secret meetings agendas, attack assembly ability to make money, hijack agenda, so forth. All right, Indiana's mission statement. And I'm not seeing any messages, so I hope everything is okay with both of them. When I can stop full display, I'll check emails. All right, mission statement. Our Indiana Assembly is dedicated to the restoration of a complete and fully operational land and soil jurisdiction, state and county court system, serving the people of Indiana, the preservation of the national trust, the enforcement of the public law, the upholding of the federal constitution owed to our state and people, the repopulation of our land and soil jurisdiction, the filling of vacated public offices, and the reclamation of our material and intellectual public and private assets. To these ends, we, the living people of Indiana, have called the eligible Indiana nationals and citizen electors to assemble and to serve as jurors and officers. And we have established the process and procedure to qualify jurors and others competent to hold state citizenship and public office. We do this peacefully and without rancor in the exercise of our unincorporated powers and capacities. All right, let me stop here a moment and stop sharing, and we'll stop that a moment and come over here to the display capture so that I can be able to check emails to see if I have missed a link or something to make sure everyone's okay. No, no. All right, let me close that out. And okay, and I do need that up. That can go away. All right, so now I can be able to share the screen again. Let's get this back up and we'll get over to here. All right, we'll get back to this. So we'll go on with the value statements. Let's see. We went live, right? Let's stop this a moment. We should be just making sure now it says, okay, well, it is what it is. So we'll just go ahead and keep going. All right. So the value statements, we stand under the laws of nature and the laws of nature's God, the 10 Commandments, the Declaration of Independence. We accept the fiduciary responsibility of the Indiana Trust and operate under the prudent man standard, meaning we treat our state business as if it were our own business. We keep the peace and uphold the public law. We report crime. We value each man and woman as a unique creation of our Creator and recognize them as a powerful co-creator. We willingly choose to self-govern and strive to show up as our best self in each and every experience. We do not and we will not condone or participate in any form of insurrection, rebellion, or creation of armed forces other than the lawful state assembly militias, operated as they're supposed to be operated within each state, and our land-based Continental Marshal Service, which is our jurisdictional interface with the U.S. Marshal Service. We perform under the treaties and constitutional agreements already established and for supporting the restored American government, the reconstruction thereof, and will become responsible for the conduct of the restored Confederation and the Federal Republic. All right, here are the 4 pillars. Each state assembly is organized to perform 4 functions. Right now, we're still working to get the General Assembly, all the pillars going. But right now, our focus is getting some core offices filled with the General Assembly, so that we can get that moving forward. The General Assembly provides a discussion and decision forum for intrastate business and acts as a committee of the whole to decide issues of general interest, conducts elections, and provides oversight for all assembly functions. So most of it's happening here, and then the work is happening within with the committees until the Jural Assembly is able to get up, and the militia. International business, which is composed entirely of state citizens, conducts the international and interstate business of the assembly. And the Jural Assembly provides the court services and oversees the grand jury, trial juries, officers, and functions of the courts. The assembly militia is focused on promoting public safety within the boundaries of their state and is well regulated militia guaranteed to each state for its internal security. So while it is on you to decide what is your best choice of protection of your own castle, given in the Constitution of the Castle Doctrine, whatever it is that you need to use as your form of protection for your home and all that is within it, then you're also going to take care of making sure you have what those tools are and that you're trained, receive the training that you need to be able to use those effectively. All right, let's see. So the Jural Assembly, here's more information about the committees. That's what I wanted to do add in here of the General Assembly committees so that we have a list of those with a little more detail as well for you all. Okay. But here for the Jural Assembly, right now we want to work with the litigation committee and the jury pool committee. And that's why those are in red. And obviously at some point we've got to start working in law education committee. But within Article 4400, I want to say is the article of our courts, what we need for our, I think it's our courts. And Anna's listed the study materials, The Excellence of Common Law by Brent Allen Winters. The Common Law Community Training Manual, Establish the Reign of Liberty, Natural Liberty, the Common Law and its Courts. And there, obviously, others from Brent Allen Winters. And some other things that I have links that I've included later on, but you'll get that as well. So those are some things we'll need to start working together to start a training process of some form to be able to bring, or the education to bring that forward as well. All right. And then here's more information about the Militia Assembly. That's all of us, because the militia is not about being a uniformed military, although those that are uniform that have previously been military, we welcome you. If you've done all your cancellations and are able to are eligible to serve in that capacity, we welcome you to come to be able to support and bring those skills, the positive skills, over here to be able to help support the Indianians to be able to protect themselves as we were supposed to. All right. And anyone that's interested in lead support like that, that's already armored up and have canceled all the contracts and everything, we can be able to connect with the records email, and we'll be able to start connecting you in to get more information, connecting with Joe for militia, more details on that aspect. All right, so our goals, of course, I have not updated, and I will explain more later why I didn't update this information over the past week, other than adding in to fill these offices, Chair Pro Tem, State Marshal at Arms, and State Secretary. We want to make sure we use that Pro Tem within how the role is identified right now, so that we are staying within our own lane. However, the state coordinator is not able to autograph those notices, right? So it has to come from the assembly chair. But right now, the General Assembly is not standing. So as long as we have that term added, Pro Tem, then they can actively and lawfully autograph those notices to support the assembly to start getting those moving forward. And so those are the elements that we wanted here, that I updated here. Everything else I had not had a chance. Of course, I hadn't looked this up at this point, but it still gives you a reminder of where we're at for Indiana and Kentucky. Again, here are Anna's links about the reminder of what needs done. There it is, 4400, our court system. That's the link that has the also for Bovier's dictionary, American jurisprudence information, and some other it's a whole compendium of works, but I can't, it's an odd name, so I'm not really sure on that one. But here are those articles that are Anna's reminder of what needs to be done now. Okay. All right. Here is a reminder that Anna brought forward that the first med beds are ready. If you wanted to support that, you're welcome to donate here. to support, or else you're welcome to also go there and purchase one yourself. But definitely make sure you at least let everybody know how, did it work? Does it work? How does it, has it helped any? What were you experiencing before? And did it improve it, or did it make it worse? Let us know, right? Otherwise, if you're also, willing to support for the, I don't know where we put it at the moment, but to be able to support, and it may be that a state citizen would be able to volunteer their space to be able to provide that service. Evidently, it's mainly getting it set up, and then it mostly does itself from there. But there's more information at that website to be able to look up the information about it. It's down here. Okay. All right. So that is for the reminder of the med beds. Okay. So update November 14th, here was Mama. And by Friday morning, we had 10 puppies. So it was a little bit of an overwhelming weekend. So I do want to put an apology out to Justin that I was not able to connect with him this weekend. So that's one thing we do not yet have, of having had an opportunity to talk more about the town hall concept. So that's what we had planned for this weekend. But Mother Nature had her own input on that. So I just wanted to share with that. Now we did the runt number 9 did survive until yesterday morning. But we still have, and I think this one tucked in here. I'm not sure if you can see the cursor, but in this bundled up little group buried under, I think that may be the one. But anyway, just wanted to give you heads up. So if anybody is looking for pups for like a Christmas present, please give us a shout out, please. This is a lot. Anyway. All right. So the next thing is that I have sat down and put together a schedule for outreach calls to do once a month on Saturdays at 5 p.m. And I am scheduled out now for the first quarter of 2024 through end of March. I did not want to schedule out any further than that because life changes, things, my husband's schedule changes. I have to adjust and accommodate for that as well. So I figured going a quarter at a time, we can be able to start getting some of this additional training in. So outreach, then for the new member orientation, we need to get those going again for those newer ones that have come in so that we can get a good process of getting you onboarded, so to speak. Helping you with your landing, right? It's more so about helping you with your landing when you learn more about this training series through here. All right, so I've scheduled those for the just before the assembly calls, so that prior to the assembly calls on Mondays, so that hopefully then you would be able to find your way over to the assembly call and start joining us with those. Now what I've done is, because there are 3 sessions, so I've put 3 Mondays back to back, and then a break for 3 weeks, and then the next 3 weeks break, and then out through the end of March for the first quarter. All right. So that gives a good 3 runs of new member orientation training. And that has been condensed from 6 weekly calls, 6 training sessions to 3 sessions. So we're trying to get things more tailored down. I've listed here the dates as well, so that you have, and time periods. So for the new member orientations, they'll be 3:30 to 5:30. Emails will be going out to those that are eligible for the new member orientation, but you're also welcome to come to because it'll still be aired on streamed on YouTube. So you'll still be able to have access if you wanted to view it at the time as well. Assemblies. So if any months that have 5 Mondays in it, that 5th Monday, there will not be a call. Okay. Now, likewise, because we have 2 weeks back to back of holidays, we have Christmas and New Year's both on Mondays. So that adjusts some of that. So I've got the dates for the assembly calls through the end of March, so to finish out the first quarter. And then I've also adjusted my consulting and recording and witnessing hours to give some added hours in that I can be able, now that I've had more of an opportunity with my husband's schedule, to even iron out to see what I can work with and start getting a sort of sleeping pattern in place, since he's gone to a third shift. Of almost 30 years of marriage, a third shift was not usually not the option. So we've had to do a lot of adjustment in our sleeping patterns to get used to that. Want to remind everyone that there won't be where I have no calls. It's like no consulting and recording and witnessing calls as well scheduled for Thanksgiving, but also Christmas and New Year. So no assembly calls, because those are on Mondays for Christmas and New Year. And happy holidays already. Merry Christmas. Please remember it is the law of reciprocity. So with that, it's a give and receive. It's not just for getting, right? And it's beyond a gift card. All right, that's in the stocking. So those are things we want to start remembering, that it's more bringing back, that it's about bringing that Christness back in, especially in these days. All right. So what I've also done is, because as I mentioned in the last call, that for the cost of Zoom, the subscription will end in mid-January. I will still put the free plan will more than enough sufficiently serve what I still need to do with recording and publishing recording calls for witnessing, so that way I can keep that more local for us. We don't want it broadcasted out here. However, free conference call, which I brought up in the last call as well, which we're migrating to, has the ability to do breakout rooms, a lobby thing. So I've got to learn, we've got to learn how to work through those to figure out how to be able to help support those. But I have put all of these dates on the free conference call wall. I have, let's see, stuff isn't clicking. Oh, here we go. All right, so that should be okay. All right, now I need to screen and share in Zoom so that you can see what I'm showing you here. Okay, so, all right, free conference call. All right, here's the meeting wall. It's freeconferencecall.com/wall/@home Indiana, but emails will go out as well. Here are links of documents that you can go ahead and download for yourself or go to. Declaration of flag, that's one that you can be able to download yourself to get that full history. Here's a link to the TASA website, American State Nationals or American State Assembly website. That's where you're going to find your templates, correct your status, chart your course, right? Here's the link to take you to the videos of why correct your status. Here's the link, search on articles, the 50 state site, the assemblies. main website. Here is a download to be able or a link to the different declaration, 1779 Declaration of Naturalizations, whichever one fits your need. If you were born on American land and soil, you're going to do the declaration of naturalization for Americans, right? I think that may even be that first link, but it should still get you there. Here is an actual download of the law of peace. In previous call, I had talked about where Chief Marshal Paul had talked about where Anna had given him the law, had him get the law of peace and read the law of peace. And that's exactly what we need to be able to help get this going. And that may be one of as soon as we wrap up the Constitution with Brent Allen Winters, which that should be that is scheduled by my numbering of pages and everything should be at the end of January, but I'd like to get started sooner, so I may be doing a separate call of starting to read through the law of peace. And I will be putting it out here on free conference call that you can be able to share. Here is also the member agreement. If you wanted to, if you didn't, which those on the call should have that, but those that are viewing through the streaming options, here's the assembly member agreement to witness testimonies. Here's assembly militia standards. This is the points of order for assembly members on etiquette and conduct. And here is how to autograph, make sure you pay attention, because any parse syntax will be rejected in the autograph. And if it's missing your thumbprint, it will be rejected for those two items. And if it's not the name that's supposed to be the name that's used for that document, like say in the acts of expatriation, right? In the acts of expatriations, right, you got the different names, especially like for women who may have changed their names, and some men changing their names. You've got the several different acts of expatriation for each. You've got your set for each, so that would so you would be able to work with that. All right, so, and here is, I'm not sure why I have, that's the calendar. Okay, so here is the calendar. It's showing the next three. It shows the most recent of the next three, and you would or you can go here to view all to see that I have put in here the assembly calls. I'm gonna see what I can do about if we can work this, or if it's too many, or if Zoom, I don't know, we're gonna see. I can't guarantee this one, but we're going to start getting into other ones that will definitely be using free conference call and not Zoom, so we can start getting practice with it anyway. So for example, the first outreach and new member orientation. But we want to keep the assembly calls right now, at least with the Zoom, till we've till end is December, if anything. But we'll have that flow going forward. But if any, I'm going to see how I can be able to connect that where it's a remote streaming. So bear with me on those. Those are the only ones I can't guarantee yet how that will work, are the General Assembly ones on here, until we actually fully migrate over to free conference call. Okay. And I've got this set on as well, so that if we're in a call, okay, and someone didn't want to actually get in the free conference call, didn't want to link into it, didn't have the invite for it, then they can go here and still listen to it. Okay, so that's why it's also not going to be recordings where it would be talking with, having calls with nationals about their private information, right? This is all assembly related, so that so you can still be able to get that information. Okay, so that is, and again, that's freeconferencecall.com/wall/@home Indiana. And Zoom, I have to switch this over to share back here. Okay. And I have the link here for that wall as well. So for those that, if you don't get an invite, you can still be able to go there. One, to see the calendar, to see what the schedule is, but then you can be able to listen through the radio part. So another opportunity to be able to listen. Okay. All right. Let me stop again and check emails and see if there is any, if I've missed anything. Let's see. Give that a moment. No, nothing's popping up. All right. So, okay. We'll keep going. All right. So we've got someone already. Oh, hey. Oh, no sound. Have you been able to hear it all? Oh, no. What's wrong? Yeah, that should be on. Hello, hello. What's wrong? Testing, testing, testing. Hello? Hello, hello? Hello? Why do I not have? Hello? Hello, hello. All right. So no sound. No sound. Oh, no. All right. Let's see. How can why do I not have sound? How is this? Oh, we should oh, no. Well, I've just got to keep going where I'm at. At least you'll have at least the notes, the video going through. Yes, thank you, Angie. Put your county in so we all know what county you're on. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you, thank you. I see why it's oh goodness. Okay. All right. So, well, at least should have been video through that, but I got to keep going because we are half hour in. I'm not going to start all over with that, but I will do walk back just a bit here about the updates, and I can start back with just the assembly agenda portion of it. Hold on. Let me get the screen share back up. All right. Okay. So let's go back to not far. Right to here, because you saw the pictures of the puppies. Okay. So Friday morning, we had puppies. We had 10 puppies. Mom had to go. That we joked with the children. It wasn't a joke, but we commented because we have a group chat call session with our children, so that way we all stay connected, because the 3 of them are now on their own, and so that's how we all stay connected. But we commented that my husband and we've been married almost 30 years, and this is the first time we've had puppies that we had the mother, went through the pregnancy, went through delivering puppies in almost 30 years. We've found we've had rescues, we've had the Humane Society for pup that were young. We did know a friend that did have very first pup. We knew his mother, but it wasn't our dog, and so this was our first time. So it was interesting, but within 2.5 hours, there were 10 puppies. So I just wanted to share. So the weekend was a little bit overwhelming, to be able to say the least, about getting things caught up. All right, and Angie's on Owen County. Thank you, dear. And that's Indiana. Okay. All right. Welcome, and we'll make sure that we take care of getting you. We're on slide 19. We want to make sure we've got you listed in the agenda details that you're on the call with us. Owen County, Indiana. Angie, thank you, dear. All right, let's get back to this real quick. And that way it's also in the official records. Oh, too far. Okay, so, all right, so free conference call. I was able to finally sit down and figure out my schedule, get a better understanding with my husband having changed to third shift. Close to 2 months ago, for the first time of him ever working third shift. So our sleep schedule was totally out of whack. We had to finally start getting that in play, so that I could then be able to start refiguring the schedule to get things back moving again on getting support out to everyone. So I've updated my consulting and recording witnessing schedule to open up some more hours in there. Then I set for a monthly outreach call for Saturday of the month. What I've also done is scheduled out for the first quarter, from obviously the rest of this month, December, and the first quarter of 2024. I didn't want to schedule too far out because, again, life does create changes at home and everything. So, we can't guarantee that this schedule may work at that time, right? So, but this way we can be able to start rolling things along. Rescheduled for the new member orientation. The next round will start. It was originally 6 sessions. It's been condensed down to 3. So I have done 3 back-to-back sessions and then off 3 weeks, 3 back-to-back, off 3 weeks. So set the schedule for it. That way it's also the same day as assembly call. So that hopefully you'll have the opportunity to be able to then come over to the assembly call. At that, when you receive the link for new member orientation, you're going to be armored up and have presented your participation member agreement. You don't have to have the 928s, but you'll have your 1779 2 witness testimonies still armored up as far as the cancellation notices. The cancel of voter registration and IRSDC, military, things like that. But if you're for a state national to be able to participate, is the 1779 2 witness testimonies, birth certificate, of course, cancel voter registration to IRSDC in New York, any other cancellations that need to be done, declaration of political status, and then the member agreement. Now, if you're wanting to be considered a state citizen, then you'll have to have all of that, plus the 928s, plus a background check. Okay. All right. So with the new member orientation, at that point, you'll be armored up as either a national or a citizen, but armored up with a member agreement. You don't have to have a background check at that point yet or not, but those are the minimum for the new member orientation. All right, so you'll get an invite, but the calendar on the free conference, I'll go back to that in a moment. Here's the website that has the links to it, and we'll go through that. Outreach first Saturdays of the month, again, scheduled out through the first quarter. The assembly calls, the months that have 5 Mondays, so there won't be a 5th. So that way there's only the 4, but then we run into Christmas and New Year, so there won't be a call, so it adjusts, because the first and third Mondays are general and militia assemblies, and the second and fourth are Jural and militia assemblies. So like December 25th is the 4th, this last Monday of the month. but it's Christmas, so we won't have that call, of course. But then January 1st, no call, so we wouldn't have that first call. So then there's also not going to be the call to end. Anyway, you'll figure that out. All right, so here are the dates for those, as well as then here is that it's already on free conference call and it's been scheduled. Let me screen share. All right, so here is the free conference call. So as we're fading Zoom out for assembly calls and training calls, because the previous call, assembly call, stated that the cost that the assembly was spending and not using any of the features, so it wasn't worth the cost when the free portion is more than enough. So here are links to websites as well as downloads to get information, and there's 3 pages. Make sure you go here to page 2, Law of Peace. This is the actual PDF. Download that, start reading that. That is one that we're going to end up, I'm going to hold a separate call on free conference call where it's just reading through that and starting to break that down. Here is the calendar. It'll show the first 3 new events, but then if you go over here to view all, you'll see that all of those dates have been put into the schedule. So you'll be able to see that they're here. And you can either go into it, depending on what it is, or you can go, if you didn't want to get into free conference call, I've got this set. So the calls that are played live on free conference call, you can come here to radio and it'll play it. So you don't have to actually log in there, as well as it'll still be streamed over YouTube and hopefully Rumble and Odyssey, that kind of thing. If I'm able to connect those through. The only one right now I can't guarantee yet that would be able to work with yet are the assembly calls until we officially move over from Zoom to free conference call, because I'm not sure how well Zoom will play with the camera usage on that. So that one we may have to play with, but all the other ones won't have an issue with Zoom. So we'll be able to, and we'll start getting practice of learning how to use those, as well as, they have breakout groups and breakout rooms, a lobby area. So working through that to see how best to be able to support the assembly's needs. Again, still going to stream them through YouTube and the others as well, and posting the videos there if it didn't stream. Okay. Mattermost is going through some changes. I was hoping Joe was going to be able to make it to the call. Maybe he would have more info. I haven't been on coordinator calls or been able to play them back lately to be able to get caught up on this aspect. But the Mattermost is is Federation provided. Is what's in the email. Is it is a Federation platform that's been provided. So if you have questions, you'll need to create a help desk ticket from the Federation to be able to get support with that. So this is the main link. You can either log in if you've already got an account, or over here, where it says not registered, you can be able to click that link to create an account. If you need to create an account, here is the page. These should be all you need, because to be able to get you into that. Okay. It has the other, so that as other officials and those that have offices, as they are elected into their new offices, that they can be able to start putting their information in there that validates who they are, and then it'll be verified by Federation IT to be able to give them the access within if needed. All right. Once you've created the account and you're able to log into the account, you're going to create a help desk ticket. It'll have open a new ticket up here. All right. And within that, there's a help topic. You drop down that says Mattermost, drop down Department, Federation IT. Those are key ones, but then go ahead and then there's a comment of, what issues you're running into. So let them know in there and they'll be able to support you with that. Also, here's an updated on a welcome to Mattermost of what the platform provides and is serves for nationals and citizens across the country, as well as a standards of conduct for Mattermost, as that is something that has been developed because of quite a bit of behavior. So a standards of conduct for Mattermost has been developed. So here is that's in a Word document, so you can be able to edit it or what you need to. And as far as, because it'll have you print it and autograph it. So, all right. That is that to be able to start getting that out. And I have adjusted the information in the emails that go out that do talk about Mattermost, that if there are any questions that they can be able to go to the link to be able to get that. All right, let's see. We'll keep rolling. All right. And I don't have it. Okay. All right, here are the links to Anna's articles for the past week. This is an interesting one, the snakes, all of them versus self-declared governments. I think that's a great one to read. But these are the ones for this week. You'll want to try to keep up with as many of you can as you can of the public claims, so that you can keep current with that. These public claims are listed on the Anna von Wright's website, as well as on the 50 state side. In the upper right, it says federal record, or no, pardon my word usage. I'm not sure what it's called, but it says it's the record of all of the public claims. And then that way you can, if you wanted to go there, also to be able to go to the back ones to read those as well. All right. That was all I had for this evening. And then we were going to pick up with Joe for the rest of the going through more of the officials roles. And again, we're looking for, and I need to update that as well. Let me screen share. That would be helpful, I guess, to be able to. Here we go. All right. So chairman pro temp, key role that we're needing right now. And that's a state citizen, so there'll need to be a background check with that. A marshal at arms, state level marshal at arms, completely armored up. Membership agreement can be, I think, has to stay as an American state national. Can't, but has to be armored up just as a citizen for their protection as well. And then the Federation will do the background check process with that. So anyone that is armored up will need to connect with me so that I can be able. Oh, Joe emailed earlier and had said that there's an interview. Oh no, it wasn't. It was a message in Mattermost actually that there is a link on the pktfsnews.org site about interviews. So if you're interested in supporting at Marshal at Arms support for the state, and marshal at arms then is on the call. The assembly calls to participate in that and other various roles. So it is an active participation with the assembly. And then assembly secretary. Of course, state recording secretaries are obviously needed. The state recording secretaries they have reached statewide to notarize, witness the documents for status correction with the state recording secretary, as well as there are county level recording secretaries that we need as well for those that only want to work within their county. That's more than fine in even their surrounding area. But those for recording secretary will need the background check, because that is handling records, assets, money. So those will need a background check for recording secretary, and all cancellations have to be completed. And then now an assembly secretary then is one that is for the assembly as that secretary, the one that will maintain the minutes for the assembly calls, create a support with creating the making sure that how the flow of the assembly goes, that the agenda is in order and is able to get out to everyone. They're the one that's going to retrieve the information from the various people that are presenting for the agenda, and keeping the record straight from that aspect. Just some of what the assembly secretary role is. And I think I think that can be a national or a citizen, but again, has to be completely armored up. That way for their protection as well as the assembly's protection. And armored up in the sense that all of the cancellation letters are done. The cancel voter registration, IRSDC. If there's a medical license, bar license, real estate, property license, they cannot actively support. And you'll see in one of the links there from Anna about that they're not eligible to be able to support. And her article will give more explanation as to why. But those are the main three key pieces that we're looking for at this point in time for the General Assembly to get that up, to start getting things moving. Because as we learned from the previous assembly call, from information brought forward from Anna, that the state coordinator is not the one that is to do all the business of the communicating with the state of Indiana and those federal government entities. It has to come from the chairman pro tem. Okay, so there's things that the coordinator is not supposed to be doing. And you'll see in a previous call, as well as in one of the extra slides of keeping information together, of what the importance of that, because right now, with not having that chairman pro tem, I can't autograph any of those notices to go out. I can support bringing the right people to the table, making sure that they're eligible to be at the table, and then they do the hashing out of who they're going to contact, what they're going to contact them about, and how they're going to contact them, and all of those aspects. Because as we stated in our mission statement, we got to get the court set up, right? And that's going to be the first start of getting the pieces that build to get to that point for the courts, as well as getting our jurors in play. Because having a chair, pro tem, secretary, and marshal at arms, and possibly a treasurer, and then we can then committees can actually start doing that work as well. And the links for those information on what those different roles are in the agenda presentation as well. All right. So here are, of course, all the links as to where you'll find all the videos. A long record is already on the Indiana Assembly website. But at this point, I've been linking since we've been streaming through YouTube since the first of this year. So those are out on YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, that kind of thing. Don't forget to stop at athomeonindiana.org for there's shirts, sweatshirts with the peace flag. There are different products for holidays that you can be able to see out there. Again, all gifts are welcome, non-refundable, and all benefits waived. Here's a reminder of the 10 steps to build a state assembly. Again, here's the coordinator scope, right? What role I actually have to play within the assembly. It's not to actually do the work that comes from you all. Here are the 10, organize a team to define the roles and an agenda, right? That's where we're at, is organizing the team so that they can, and defining the roles so that the agenda can be brought forward. And you can then go forward more through here. Here, this outreach program overview, here is a link of just a brief overview of how from the assembly side of building an outreach process. It's not an actual going through an outreach video. It's more of a training. And that would be supportive for those that are interested in supporting from an outreach, because we have an outreach committee. Again, the reminders of jurisdiction. And here is the law of peace again, which is also linked on the free conference call. Outreach mission statement. Joe brought this forward. Joe, our peacekeeper, postal area chief. These are the top 6 quantifiable offenses levied against the current municipal government. Just a few examples. So that's interesting to look through. So, and there are other slides in there with information that'll be able to support you, as well as keeping a printout of this. Here's a link to be able to also get the PDF of it if you didn't want to find a way to print from here. But having a print of this so that you have a physical one in your hand, this is great for outreach as well as for your gaining of knowledge. Having physical printout of this and this, as well as even this, is your reminder. So when, instead of picking up your cell phone when you have a few minutes, read this and start getting to know the 5 different citizen types and why. This is how the actual structure of our government is supposed to be. This gets more detail into the layers. This is us here. This is the part that's been vacant. This is what we're working on to fill. Okay. This is the responsibility of the Federation, so that you can see how we're working from a bottom up, not a top down. Okay. All right. So again, or I had just, you missed it because there was no sound, and interesting. Okay, but I got that figured out because we got confirmation that there was sound. So we want to make sure that we go ahead and then, oh, wrong slide. Where is that slide? I've got to get this organized more. I want to remind everybody again, happy Thanksgiving. And here's an opportunity for additional training and study courses that are highly, highly supportive for you. The study course will give you more information on jurisdictions and how to enforce. And then here's the Federation's training portal for universal self-governance, how to start thinking differently from your own personal level, not how it is, not from the assembly point of view of being an American as opposed and no longer serving as acting as a U.S. citizen. And then there's America, some assembly required. That's a great one that will be able to help with those that are wanting to actively support the bill. All right. So we want to go ahead and let's see, where can I use? Okay, once the call is over, I will be uploading the PDF, putting the link on the YouTube description at the bottom for this call. So it won't take me but a few minutes, but I'll have that up there for you. All right. And then that way you'll have all these links ready for you. Okay. So we'll go ahead and adjourn for this evening and adjourn to next week, November 27th at 6 p.m. Central. And again, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and peace and love. Have a great week.